You are about to hear a brief account of the destruction of the Indies by Bartolome de las Casas, a new translation by Sarah Gordons, narrated by Jason McCoy. Popery truly displayed in its bloody colors, or a faithful narrative of the horrid and unexampled massacres, butcheries, and all manners of cruelties that hell and malice could invent, committed by the popish Spanish party on the inhabitants of West India, together with the devastations of several kingdoms in America by fire and sword, for the space of 42 years, from the time of its first discovery by them. Composed first in Spanish by Bartolome de las Casas, a bishop there, and eyewitness of most of these barbarous cruelties, afterward translated by him into Latin, then by other hands into High Dutch, Low Dutch, French, and now taught to speak modern English. The argument of the narrative, by way of preface to the reader. The reverend author of this compendious summary was Bartolome de las Casas alias Casas, a pious and religious person, as appears by his zealous transports in this narrative for promotion of the Christian faith. Elevated from a friar of the Dominican order to sit in the episcopal chair, who was frequently importuned by good and learned men, particularly historians, to publish this summary. This piece so prevailed him that he collected out of that copious history, which might and ought to be written on this subject, the contents of this concise treatise with intention to display unto the world the enormities and crimes of Spaniards committed in America during their residence there. The author found that no admonitions or reprehensions could operate upon or sink into the rocky-hearted tyrants in those occidental parts. Therefore, he took up a firm resolution, at around 50 years of age, to run the hazards and dangers by sea. Moreover, risk the long voyage into Spain to acquaint and certify the most illustrious Prince Philip, the son and heir of His Imperial Majesty Charles V of blessed memory, with the horrid crimes perpetrated in those countries, part whereof he had seen, and part heard from such as boasted of their wickedness. His Caesarian Majesty, moved with a tender and Christian compassion towards these inhabitants of the countries of America, languishing for want of redress, he called a council at Valladolid, Anno Dom 1542, consisting of learned and able men, in order to start the reformation of the West Indian government. It took such a course that from that time their tyranny and cruelty against...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?